What's going on, Three of a Kind Gang? Good morning, man. Today's a cool day as usual, but not a fun day. Wiring. You see the spaghetti farm behind me? Yeah, dude. It seems like a lot, especially when I had a main power source that was supposed to power things not working. I'm going to show that to you. Anyway, and I don't have a test light anymore. Apparently, it has disappeared. But if you guys have a Nighthawk and you're thinking about wiring up like an aftermarket headlight, or you're thinking about wiring up an aftermarket switch, hello, I'm telling you, it's not as bad as you think. We're going to get into it. All you need, really, a test light if you have one. I'll show you what I'm doing instead of having a test light. You're going to love this. And the diagrams to both your aftermarket parts and the diagram to the bike. And you just got to follow it. Good morning. Let's get it. Now, I'm aware that not all of you had two bikes to work with, and maybe you had trouble finding a good legible wiring diagram, and I'll help you with that. I'm gonna put the URL up in a little bit. But I did have two bikes. Luckily, there's an extra wiring harness here. Here's a bunch of extra components. The best part about this, I can keep a lot of the factory colors moving as we go. So, you know, I have an extra turn signal switch, and I can see what colors are coming out of there. And then I've got an extra horn switch, and this is another turn signal switch. And then here's the actual horn wiring. The horn is the last thing I'm wiring. Today we're not going over that, but that's pretty self-explanatory. So we're gonna go over the other stuff. First thing I would do if I was anybody doing this wiring is this is the new switch coming through, right? I would label every single wire what it does based on the diagram and put all female ends on here. Now you know only male ends will click into there, and you'll be able to start running from there. Then you read the diagram and you're like, okay, what wires are going into this factory plug? Almost dropped my light there. Factory plug here. What wires are going straight to the light? And we'll get into that. The first main issue that I had, this is supposed to be coming from the other plug on the other side, the power for the headlights. And I wasn't getting anything out of it. I was checking continuity, got nothing. But I also know, excuse me, that this guy here is the horn power, brown and black. Kind of hard to focus on that, but brown and black horn power. So this is a full-time or a key on power. So now all my testing came from this to make all my headlight work. The other thing you know right away, your low beam is going to be this white wire. It's going to go straight to it. And then your high beam, all right, there you go. High beam is going to be the blue wire. So those can go straight to the plug here, which, again, with the plug, I just put some ends on here. I actually fully crimped that one because I knew that one right away. And now I can directly connect those to that. That's easy. Now we just need power down. Or I'm sorry, those have power because I hooked that power wire that I told you to what was the headlight input positive. And that all worked great. One thing we're going to learn as we go is that there's a green wire. That's this guy here. That is the overall negative throughout the entire system. Okay, this green wire is the negative for the turn signals. It's the negative for the headlight. It is the negative for the horn. It is the negative for everything. And that goes into the green wire here. If I can pull it separate. That goes into this green wire here. You see I already have it hooked up. So that is going to go into the bike and ground out into the bike so you don't have to ground it nowhere else. All right, guys, coming to the back of the bike here, you know we have our little fuse block. Well, I figured it out. That's supposed to be a 10 amp fuse, but I didn't have one, so I put a 15 in. It was blown, and that's why I had nothing to the headlight power. So that's fixed. Now I have that power working and the horn power working as it's supposed to. So now we'll be able to wire it exactly how it's supposed to be done. Now, guys, because I'm going to be running a very clean setup, this blue wire, which is the low beam, I believe, or high beam, one or the other, it splits because it's supposed to go into the original harness. That is literally just to send it to the gauges to have your high beam indicator on. I won't be running high beam indicators. In fact, I won't be running any of these dummy lights. I'm doing a dirt bike setup. Okay, either it runs or it don't. And it's going to have no dummy lights. We all know how to find neutral. We've been riding long enough. So that's where we're at. All right, guys, it's gonna be hard to show you here, but I'm gonna try to put together this positive and negative with one hand without shocking myself. So you see Left blinker is blinking. It's hard to see on camera, but trust me, it is. Left or right, I'm not sure which one that is. Other one is blinking. Again, hard to see on camera. So we're good. The only thing and also, of course, the high beam works. The only thing is I can't seem to figure out how to get the daytime running lights to work without messing with the turn signal, which sucks because I really like the daytime running lights, but I'm really excited. And I'm going to show you how I got this wiring to work. So with the exception of the daytime running lights coming on, this is how your wiring is going to work if you have an aftermarket plug. So try to follow along the best you can. Your L and R, your left and right, are going to go straight up here. Okay, just straight to the switch. Your actual power for the turn signals is this gray wire right here out of the harness. That is your power for turn signals. That's what sends it to the relay, which you might have heard clicking in the video. So that's all you really need for these aftermarket turn signals to work. That's it. And it goes straight to the original system, and it doesn't flash all crazy. It's a perfect flash. So that's where we're at with that. Now, as far as the daytime running lights, I guess I'll live without them. I have high and low beam. I'm not going to complain too much, but I would have liked them. So now I've got this. This is my horn power. I'm not going to do my horn right now. This has a passing switch. I'm not even going to mess with that right now. For basic, not all of them have passing switches anyway. So for basic wiring, R to R, L to L, right? There's not even anything hooked to this one because this is daytime running light. I sure wish I could figure out a way to make that work. But for right now, I'm very happy with it. I'm going to clean this wiring up and put it back together and move forward. Okay, one last update. I said I wasn't going to do anything with the passing light, but I now realize it just it flashes your brights. And that's pretty cool. So, all right, here we go. High beam's on. Or excuse me, low beam, high beam, low beam, passing light, turn signal, off, turn signal, off. Everything working. I wired it up. You see, so I took all the unused wires somewhere here. Right here's all the unused wires. Got them all bundled up. There's a bunch of unused wires from the switch too. Not really too worried about that. This is all headlight wiring put together. Okay, so you got your 3 and then all the way up. Now I just got to wrap these up and tuck it in. Of course, these are my ignition wires, which I need to put a new ignition on. So that's going to be it for wiring the headlight on this bike. Everything works great. If you have any questions, let me know. It's really not hard. Quick overview. You got orange is left, blue is right. Okay. And the power wire is the gray wire out of the harness. Okay. Then you have, for the headlight, white is low beam, black is negative, red is high beam. On the factory harness, it's a couple different colors, but you look at the diagram, you connect those. That simple, and we have working headlights. Now we need to work on a starter relay and some other things, but that's going to be it for today, guys. I really hope this helps you guys out, and if you're going to wire one of these bikes, so be cool, do something to save the world. Peace.